Hello, welcome to the Water Management for the Greater Phoenix Area final video presentation. The three of us have been working on this for the last 7.5 weeks. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.
Phoenix is a city with an expansive history of water management, beginning all the way back with the Hohokam Indian tribe in the year 300 AD. While there was some pioneer development that followed the tribe, the majority of changes started at the beginning of and continued through the 20th century. The earliest known inhabitants of what is now modern-day Phoenix are believed to be the Hohokam Indians, a tribe of farmers who inhabited the Salt Valley from around 300 to 1450 AD. To irrigate their crops and sustain an estimated 50,000 people, they dug a canal system with stone and wooden tools. Even though they built what was considered to be the largest and most sophisticated irrigation system in the Americas, the tribe left the area around 1450 for reasons that are still unknown. As you see in the photo that's in this slide, the lighter lines are the original prehistoric canals. The old white lines are the current canal system. And as you can see, what's here now has followed some of those prehistoric systems. The Salt River Project was originally the Salt River Valley Water Users Association, formed in 1903. They were a group of ranchers and farmers who needed a way to get water to their communities and homes. They put up dams on the Salt River, which created reservoirs for water storage and controlled the water that entered metropolitan Phoenix. Now known as SRP, the association manages the water allocations for the city of Phoenix. The Colorado River Compact was a pivotal change in the way that water was managed in the western states. As you can see here, the boundaries of the Colorado River Basin were established, and water was allocated to both the upper basin, where water comes from, and the lower basin, where the water demand is, with the dividing point between basins being Lee's Ferry, Arizona. The Colorado River Compact is a 1922 agreement that covers the 7 states of the Colorado River Basin. However, when it was originally enacted, it only specified that the upper basin and the lower basin each get 7.5 million acre-feet of water per year. Mexico entered an agreement with the U.S. in 1944 to secure their water rights. The upper basin states entered into the Upper Colorado River Basin Compact in 1948 that specified the individual state allotments. The lower basin states, however, could not come to an agreement, which led to first California. California was the most downstream and was using all of the excess water from the other states for agriculture. They'd gotten used to the extra and didn't want to cut back their usage. As a result, Arizona sued California and asked the Supreme Court to make the decision, and in 1968 they were finally able to do so. Even though the original issue was California's use of excess water, Arizona agreed to allow to let them have a higher share of any excess in exchange for the right to build the Central Arizona Project. This is a 336-mile canal system that brings water from the Colorado River to central and southern Arizona, including the Phoenix Metro. The most recent major change was the Arizona Groundwater Management Act. This 1980 act established the Arizona Department of Water Resources to oversee 3 main goals for the state and Maricopa County. It aimed to control severe overpumping of groundwater at the time, known as overdraft, provided allocation of the state's limited groundwater, and set the course for water supply development. We're sorry for such a short recap on where we are today. However, this was another student's area to work on. Currently, however, Phoenix is in a great position. There aren't any major water shortages, and no restrictions have been enacted for residents. Current estimates from the city of Phoenix show that the city has enough water to last through the next 50 years, and possibly even further than that. In addition, the city of Phoenix government has a water resource plan in place and revisits it every 5 years to ensure that it's kept accurate and changes are made when needed.
There are many things that influence the future of our water supply here in Arizona. Now, obviously, these numbers in my pie chart are not fact-based, but they're mere representations of a few places where our water here is going. I did this so that you could better understand that all of these people are stakeholders, and their dependency is equal to one another. It's all small problems that influence the bigger picture. Each thing is connected, As agriculture is connected to the Johnson family down the street, it's also connected to the growing population and the water pollution from nitrogen excess in our water. Now, we need to consider everyone's welfare. We need to be aware of our population growth, policy changes towards water and conservation, and we need to put time and energy into researching other alternative methods as well. So, as I stated on the previous slide, we have stakeholders. These people are people who have some sort of responsibility and implement of the water supply here in Arizona. They have a say in the matter, so to speak. So I have Central Arizona Project, the CAP project, Arizona residents, and farmers. All of these people need the water, and they rely on it on their day-to-day life. So when we try to do policy changes, such as creating low-flow toilets in Arizona, we're often met with pushback, whether it's because of financial responsibilities or social norms or political barriers. A social norm here in Arizona is having really lush green landscaping, and where that's a norm, it's not very sustainable, and we can't really keep doing it. Another financial pushback would be if we required the low-flow toilets here in Arizona, but we didn't give our residents enough time to create money to pay for those. So going into the future, we need to consider our pushback from our stakeholders and make sure that we make our policies such as that they're relatable, they're manageable, they can still happen. Otherwise, we'll meet this pushback and then we won't be able to move forward. Going back to what we were saying our goals for our future are, population awareness is part of our solution. As you can see that by this supply and demand chart, as our population continues to increase, our demand for water will as well. Finding our equilibrium or our balance, as represented by our happy face on this chart, will be our best solution. Since we are dealing with a wicked problem and it is a complex issue, realistically it could take 20 years to resolve this. With a wide range of stakeholders from farmers and residents to CAP and even Native American tribes all drawing water from the same water source, these policy changes could impact each of these stakeholders because our policies have the potential for increasing the cost of water. Therefore, when we're making these policies, all of our voices must be heard. Awareness, like most sustainability problems, will lead to policy change. These policies will look at ways to conserve water, reduce water consumption per person, and find innovative ways to substitute different uses or different water sources other than the Colorado River. This is the last slide of our presentation. We want to thank anyone who watched and say that this was quite an educational journey these past few weeks, learning about the history of what Arizona has gone through to keep water accessible for all those who live here and seeing where that has brought us today. The struggles that this state has overcome are a steady reminder that we can help prevent this wicked problem from continuing in the future.